Hello, welcome to this episode of a series of videos all about giving you an insight into the Ultra Challenges from Action Challenge. As always, I'm joined by my lovely panel here. We've got experienced walker, Jim Smith. We have a running coach, Matt Buck, and event director, Julian Risley. Thanks for joining me again, guys. This video is all about top tips, really, and sort of people watching this who may not have taken part in an event before, just giving them a bit of an idea of things that you, as experienced people in these events, think are the best things to have. I guess one video we talk about in a lot is about people's feet. Jim, how important for you looking at your feet?
They're the things that are going to get you through. I mean, as daft as it sounds, they are one of the most important areas to look after. You always think of it as a bit of a triangle. You've got the physical, the mental and management side of an event, and if you're lacking in one of those areas, you can make it up by kind of increasing the focus on the other areas. So if you're having issues in your training, you don't quite get push you that far, then mentally you can get prepared, and you can get prepared in the management side of things as well. Looking after your feet is kind of the staple of that triangle, and kind of allows you to build from there to get through these challenges.
Julian, I have to say, I personally love the app because it's really good, and every time I work on an event as an event host, I will get the app, put the code in and look at all the details for it, because there's so much information on there, but there's some training things on there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean the app, we find people love it just because actually the information is at their fingertips, whether it is training, kit lists, even how to get to the start, believe it or not. Yeah, so yeah, these days download the app, makes life really simple, and everything's there laid out for you. So if you haven't done it, do it. Yeah.
Training, as we talked about previously, there's some training for runners on the app as well, isn't there?
Yeah. There's loads of training advice on there, which I put together for Action Challenge, and there's also a training plan as well. So no excuse to not train properly for the events. Take a look, work out how you can work that training plan into your everyday life. And I guarantee if you follow that plan, you will be prepared for that race.
And we have this year, you're organising some training runs for us. So join Matt on one of the runs and some training walks. We always have a host of training walks as well. So it's a good way to get a feel for what it's all about. Shorter distances, but the kit, conditions often.
Pacing, we'll talk about pacing.
Well, pace is another top tip, isn't it?
Exactly.
And again, we have another video on that which goes into more detail, but that's critical to get right, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you come along to one of the training runs that I host, then we'll talk about pacing, we'll talk about how to tackle hills, uphill, downhill, you name it, we cover it. So you really can be absolutely 100% prepared for the challenge.
Jim, food, drinking, I'm not offering you a sandwich right now, but for the events, again, we go into detail in another video of that. We have lots of videos all about this, but as a top tip, that's critical as well, isn't it? Get the right food, the right nutrition, hydration.
And especially, I mean, these challenges aren't about just the challenge on the day. It's the miles and the time you invest leading up to the challenge as well. And that's what you're looking to do. You want to be thinking about your diet throughout the training and also on the day, obviously. But good, healthy food, keeping yourself fueled. Avoiding kind of the fatty side of things, because that's almost dead calories, as it were. You want all those nice healthy carbs and keeping those protein levels up for recovery as well.
Another top tip, we see so many people on the start line. I do lots of shout outs to them, raising money, fundraising for wonderful charities. Not everyone does that route, but lots of people do, and like fundraising, they can get some help from charities, can't they, as well?
Yeah, I mean fundraising is certainly why about half the people do these events, or they combine it with fundraising. I think most years we raise about £5 million for a whole array of charities. We have some big partners, but there's about 300 charities involved in these events. I think the key for fundraising is start early, engage your friends. These events, like very few, I mean, they're genuinely a challenge. If you tell your mates you're going to do 100 kilometres or London to Bright or around the Isle of Wight, they will sponsor you. It's a lot more than an old sort of 10k run. It's worthy of sponsorship.
Absolutely, and I guess using the power of social media as well is put some of your training photos and videos on there to show people how much you're putting into this. It's not just a case of rocking up, because some people will think, well, it's just walking. We can all walk. The majority of people can all walk. But if you put the training and videos on there and ask for a bit of help with this sort of fundraising, I guess that makes people think, okay, they are putting a lot of effort into this.
Start early. That's why all fundraising. You start it early, you position it well. Then whatever your targets are. We have some people raise over £10,000 on these things, so it's extraordinary what some people do, and best of luck to everyone who's doing it.
Absolutely, and we mentioned Facebook there. I'm a member of this group. There is a Facebook page, and they're not run by Action Challenge. It's actually run by people who have taken part in it, which I believe is Action Challenge Event Participants Group. You can find that, and lots of people who are perhaps first timers, I guess, or people who are experienced. But there's they get together for training walks. They offer advice. They put pictures on their toenails. They do all sorts of weird and wonderful things in there. But it's really helpful from everything that I've seen in there. It's great. I know you're a member of that page as well, aren't you?
Yeah, really, really good advice out there. You know, this is all about finding what works for the individual, and the only way you're going to find out about the various options around training, gear, everything we cover off during these videos is by taking in as much advice and information as possible and tuning it for your own needs. And that group's got, you know, lots of people on there with full of good advice.
Well, as I always say, when someone asks me a question, I say, have you tried a search engine yet? Because someone's already asked that question, and the same in that group, someone's already come across the problem that you've got. Most likely, someone's had that issue already, they've got the answer, they can help you, give you a bit of advice. But yeah, that's good. So this year, there's 2 brand new ultras. Tell us about the 2 new ones that have come onto the calendar.
Yeah, we've got one in the Wye Valley, which is the kind of England-Wales border. A beautiful route. I think Matt's actually ran the whole thing for us to check it out.
Fantastic, so beautiful. Really varied route. There's rolling hills, there's beautiful valley, the valley itself is beautiful, there's amazing views. Yeah, really recommend it.
And the other one is Jurassic Coast, which is a bit of a classic. So kind of a game of 2 halves. That one, it's the rolling kind of Durdle Door, all that sort of thing. First half down to Weymouth, and then it's a kind of different challenge. The second half, it's the Pebbly Beach, and it's the long haul into Bridport. But a fantastic event, and we should have about 3,000 people on that one, I think. So it's proving very popular.
Well, as they're 2 brand new ones, although you have taken part in it with some testing, I'm going to ask you all to tell me your favourite event on the Ultra calendar by Action Challenge. What's your favourite, Jim?
For me, it's always going to be the Isle of Wight. It's the one I've done 3 times up until now. Got a 4th one coming up very soon. It's always been my first, and yeah, it always holds a little bit of a special place for me.
Are you walking, or are you volunteering as a trek master for that one?
This time round, I'm volunteering for the first time on this one. So I've participated in 3 in the past, and this time I'm volunteering to help get other people to the end this time.
It's my favourite as well. That's my first event. I was event host on last year, and that's my favourite so far. But who knows? Matt, your favourite as a runner?
I do love the Isle of Wight as well. My mum lives on the island, so you know, close to the heart. But genuinely, the Wye Valley, I know the event hasn't happened yet, but that route was amazing, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to cheat a little bit and say that's my favourite, even though it's not happened yet.
You're the only one who really can get it. Yeah. And Julian, your favourite?
I'd say it's for 2 reasons really. Thames Bath Challenge. It's actually the biggest event we organise. It's really quite complicated because we have a number of components to it, and it's the last one of the season actually. So we get to the Thames Bath, and everything's been wonderful and safe, and 20,000 odd people have had a fantastic challenge at some point during the year. That's a great year for us as well.
And lots of money raised for wonderful charities. Finally, any top tips to give, and your top advice that's for you is a must thing to do?
Train. You know, it's a very generalised high level topic, but just make sure you get the training in, and don't underestimate what you're taking on. You know, most people when they sign up for 100k don't, but still just get that training in, talk to other people, and be prepared for the event.
Matt?
Train hard, like Jim already said, and go to the event with more than one plan. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, I could go on. So then if Plan A doesn't materialise, you're not feeling downhearted and disappointed. You could go on, focus on
especially when you're tired as well.
Exactly.
That, you need that sort of training in the back of your mind of what you're going to do.
Exactly.
And Julian, you've seen thousands of people come through this. Some have had to retire. Most have come across that line very happy with what they've done. But for you, your top tip?
I think it's engage with others. Yeah, join up with others if you're on your. Even if you come with groups of friends, meet other people. The reason this big Facebook group's going is because actually people love these events. We often hear, "Well, I'm never doing another one of those." We see exactly the same people there year after year.
Like-minded people as well.
Yeah, like-minded people. Big social scene outside of what we do builds up, and it's something you'll never forget, and it's a great time.
Memories of a lifetime.
Well, as event host, I'm there on the finish line as people come across. I'm there till the very last person crosses that line, and the amount of people that I see who their friends are waiting for them and they tell me, oh, we've got Sarah and someone else coming across the line, surely you would know who they were, but they don't, because they've joined along the way somewhere. Maybe the people they were with or have gone on somewhere else or retired, but it's wonderful to see new friendships being formed in really quite testing times, especially towards the end of that finish line. So yeah, definitely the social thing for me would be high on that list. Well, thank you very much for coming in. If you have enjoyed this video, there are loads more videos that give you an insight into what we're doing. Please make sure you get yourself onto one of the ultras this year, if not all 7 of them, and push yourself further. We're going to join in together with this because you're going to hear it all the time. PYF. You're going to push yourself forward. You ready, guys? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. PYF. Push yourself further.